Okay, next. We talked about the Walter Payton Award watch list earlier. I wanted to talk about some of the players who made the Walter Payton Award watch list from the Big Sky per Skyline Sports and Culture Nuanez. Make sure you guys go check out his article on SkylineSports.com. Um, there was 5 players who made the list from the Big Sky. Tommy Malott being one, talked about him earlier. Junior Bergen, talked about him earlier. Land Larison, really good player. Hoping to see a full healthy season from him at UC Davis at the running back position, and maybe some returner. Who knows if they play him at return this year. Efton Chisholm, the receiver at Eastern Washington, and Marcus Weir. Now, I thought this was very interesting because, obviously it's a feat in itself as a lineman to be put on the Walter Payton Award watch list. Has a lineman ever won the Walter Payton Award? Will they ever win it? Obviously, they have the Remington Award, which is awarded to the best lineman in FCS and FBS football. They have one for both. I'm blanking on who won it last year. I think it was the center at South Dakota State who won it last season. I'm blanking on his name. But what needs to happen for an offensive lineman to win the Walter Payton Award? Will they ever win it? I mean, what's the point of putting them on the watch list? Like I said, I think it's a feat in itself to be put on there as a lineman. Like, hey, you're being recognized as one of the best players, one of the best offensive players in the FCS. Being put on the watch list means we're watching, but also it just means I think it's an accolade in itself. I think it means that people think highly of you as a player. They think your skill set is as such that you could, be one of the best players in the FCS, even if maybe you don't win it, maybe you make the finalist list. I don't know. I didn't research this, but I wanted to know what's the furthest like a lineman ever made it. Who do you guys think will become a finalist from the Big Sky? I could see Land Larison becoming a finalist and Tommy Malott. One, because Tommy Malott has the ball in his hands every play. I think team success will dictate where Tommy Malott falls in that. But then Land Larison, he is the backbone of that UC Davis offense. He's the backbone of that UC Davis team. He got hurt early on in the season. I think they struggled a bit. He came back. They went on a run towards the back half of their season last year, and he obviously was a big part of that. He's obviously one of the best players in the Big Sky. Obviously one of the best players in FCS football. It's going to be exciting to see who can finish on top, who can finish towards the top of this list. Efton Chisholm is somebody who best player on one of the best players on Eastern Washington's roster, probably the best player on Eastern Washington roster, been getting a ton of accolades this offseason, really good receiver, probably the best returning pure receiver in the Big Sky Conference. So eyes are going to be on him. I'm sure he has. I'm sure all these guys have NFL aspirations. This season is going to be big for all of them to shine. But it was just interesting to me. Marcus Weir, best lineman in Big Sky Conference, one of the best linemen in the FCS, if not the best lineman in the FCS, converted from a D lineman to an offensive lineman, and has been a star in his role as an offensive lineman ever since the switch has been made. But what does a lineman have to do to win that award? I don't have the answer for that. It was just interesting to me. There was actually a couple linemen on there. I didn't put all, obviously this is Big Sky players, but there was a couple of linemen on that list. And, I just think that's interesting. Obviously it's some recognition for you. It's great to get that recognition. It's just great to get that recognition. I don't know if they'll ever win it. It would be cool, but like I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to think right now because, we all know to be a successful football team, you need an offensive line. You need a good defensive line. But it's like, are they making the same impact on the game, offensive linemen, as somebody like a quarterback is making? I don't think it's the same. Like, the quarterback has the ball in their hands every play. They're deciding where the ball goes when it's a pass play. Obviously, if it's a run play, they're just handing it off. But they have to make the right decisions when the ball is being put in the air, and you have to be able to put the ball in the air to be successful at any level of football. Unless you're running like a triple option and you're only passing the ball maybe 3-4 times a game, like somebody like a Harding at the D3 level. But I don't know. I don't know if a lineman can affect the game enough to win the Walter Payton Award. You would need I think 10 pancakes a game, and they would have to be nasty, nasty pancakes. You would have to be so obviously. You would have to be so obviously the best player on your team. You'd have to be so obviously the best linemen in the country. It would have to be so obvious, it's sickening. Like, great player, Marcus Weir, great player. I don't so much know if a lineman can ever win it. It was interesting for me to see. I'm sure they put linemen on there every year, but this was my first season really paying closely attention to the Walter Payton Award watch list, and really, analyzing all the players on there. And Marcus Weir was one of them. So it just popped this question in my head. So you guys let me know what you think about that, and I will move on. Okay, another topic along those lines of the Walter Payton Award watch list is there was only one quarterback from the Big Sky who made the Walter Payton Award watch list to start the season, and he is primarily a runner. Is the reason that there's only one quarterback on the list because of youth, or is it because of subpar quarterback play? I have some notes on here that I wanted to mention. I think historically, the Big Sky has had some elite quarterbacks, but I think as of late, the QB play in the Big Sky has been significantly below the elite level. So some of the quarterbacks that I mentioned on my list of, some of the elites was Eric Barrier, Kevin Thompson, Jake Mayer, Dalton Sneed. He dealt with injuries, but I think, I would put him on that list. I'm probably a little biased, but I will put him on that list. Case Cookis and Vernon Adams. Obviously, those are some guys who Vernon Adams plays in the CFL. Case Cookis is still playing in the UFL. He had a little stint in the NFL as well. Eric Berry, I believe, is in the CFL as well. He might actually be in the UFL. Kevin Thompson played in the USFL with me. Jake Mayer, not sure where he's at, but he was a really good quarterback at UC Davis. So, I think over the years, the Big Sky has had, elite quarterback play, has had some really good quarterbacks. You bring up names like Vernon Adams. I mean, that is a name that, and I'm definitely probably forgetting some names of quarterbacks that absolutely tore it up that some of you Big Sky purists can probably give me the names of, but those are just a few of the quarterbacks that I think of. I never played against Vernon Adams. I did play against Case Cookis. I did play against Kevin Thompson. I definitely played against Eric Barrier. I think he was absolutely elite of the elite. So, I don't know why. It just makes me think, why has the Big Sky not really had the quarterback play as of late that it has had in the past? And maybe I'm off kilter here. Maybe the Big Sky really has only had one or two elite quarterbacks at a time. I think when Case Cookis was playing back in 2017, I mean, I can't really think of any other quarterbacks in the conference who Jake Mayer, I think, was in the conference at the time too. So, I mean, there's been one or two here all the time. I think there's always been like one or two, maybe three, but maybe the Big Sky hasn't always had elite quarterback play. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that there's been elite quarterback play in the conference over the years? Or, I think of Giovanni McCoy at Idaho from last year. I think he was an elite quarterback in the Big Sky. I think their offense didn't really allow for him to, show his full skill set. They were playing more of a ball control type offense. I mean, obviously they're airing it out. They had really good receivers. They're trying to put the ball in the air, but more than anything, they're trying to run the clock out, and they're trying to control the pace of the game. They're trying to, give you as least possessions as possible. But I think had given the opportunity, Giovanni McCoy could have been a really good player. But, he was really like one of one, and he's not in the conference anymore. So maybe we're having a different conversation. Maybe this conversation is about the Big Sky getting all of its best players poached, and maybe it's about, some of the best players in the conference not staying in the conference, like Giovanni McCoy. That's something we've seen all across the FCS. Giovanni McCoy is the latest example of that. It's a wonder that Eric Barrier stayed for his whole career, because he was a young guy who actually ended up, he went to the national championship as a young guy. So for him to stay at Eastern Washington and, stick it out, I think that's commendable by him. But what do you guys think? I think the overall quarterback play in the Big Sky has been average. I mean, they're in terms of when I think of quarterback play, I think of both arm talent, being able to air the ball out, and I think both. I think I don't really take running ability into account. So not that Tommy Mellott isn't a great player. If you watch me, you know that I speak very, very highly of Tommy Mellott. But when I think of quarterback play, you got to be able to air the ball out. And, I haven't really seen any Big Sky quarterbacks besides Giovanni McCoy really do that at the highest level, So I think the quarterback play in the Big Sky has been a little bit average. Don't kill me for saying that. But I'm standing on that. So Giovanni McCoy, one of the guys that I think of when I point to, and then like somebody I played against, Eric Berrier, somebody I think of, Kevin Thompson, Jake Mayer, other quarterbacks I played against, Case Cookus, Dalton Sneed, somebody I played with. Or played against, and then Vernon Adams, obviously still playing professional football. So what do you guys think about some of the quarterbacks in the Big Sky? Do you guys think the quarterback play in the Big Sky is good? Do you guys think it could be better? Or what do you think? I just, see that there's only one quarterback on the Walter Payton Award watch list, and obviously that could change over the course of the season, but clearly this says something about what the rest of, what FCS football stats, what some of these media personalities think about the quarterback play in the Big Sky. I think I'm not going to say almost every conference because I don't have the list right in front of me, but there was quite a few conferences that have multiple quarterbacks on the watch list, and for the Big Sky only to have one, it's kind of concerning, man. So you guys let me know what you think about that in the comments, and I will move on.